All right, what's up, y'all? This is the Madness Before Blade show. Still mad dogging it, working on our sword. Hope to get it done, but I'm not going to sweat it too much more. I've been sweating it for a long time now. So let me give you a quick history of my experience at Blade Show in Atlanta, Georgia. I have only gone to Blade Show in Atlanta, but I went the first year they had it, which was sometime in the 90s. I went as just a patron. I went to look at knives and study knives, and I didn't buy anything super crazy. I bought a folder from somebody, but I think it was like a factory something collaboration. I'm not going to say the name of it, but since then, I have been to Blade Show starting at 2001 as an exhibitor every year except for 2019. I decided to not go. So this year, 2023, going to Blade Show, we have two booths once again. And I haven't decided whether two booths is a good thing or not, but we're doing it. We have their Night Elements booth and our Night Forge Studio booth. Started out going to Blade Show there. At one time, there was an American Bladesmith Society section, which I was in, and that was a lot of fun for the first couple years. And then I started to notice all of the other things that were happening in the show. And I was like, wow, this is cool. This is neat. This is neat. And I kind of gradually wanted to move out of that area because, well, number one, because I'm an ADHD person and I couldn't sit in one spot for very long. So I figured if I was in the middle of the room, it'd be a lot easier to see what I wanted to see. And I was right. So after several years moving around and finding different spots, we have a booth now. We've had a booth for 3 years. That's a lot of fun. Different ball game, but also it's a bigger show for us. We have a different show. We have a bigger variety of knives that don't just bring customs to the show. So if you know, I have been making handmade forged blades professionally since 2001, and I only did forged blades right up until about 5 years ago when I started to have my designs produced. And the first they were produced by other people just copying my designs, which I have no control over. Other makers, other companies, whatever. But the first professional quality handmade knives were produced by Winkler Knives. Winkler, two great friends of mine, Daniel and Karen, I've known since I was 15, and they are wonderful. Their company is awesome. Still making great stuff. Probably the most iconic tomahawk being made right now is the Winkler Syok because of the Jack Carr series, you know, and it's really, really cool. But they're great friends of mine. And then since then, we have developed Night Elements in 2019, me and AJ, and we've been having our designs produced. But I'm still making customs. So still making custom forged one-off pieces, which are way more rare. Back in those days, everything was a one-off. And I was trying to make them rare, and I guess they are pretty rare now because it's always fun to see what they go for on the secondary market, which I leave alone. So I'll show you some of the pieces I have. And I'll also talk again about this whole history, my idea of the history thing. Oh, by the way, my friend Steve Schwarzer is being inducted into the Cutlery Hall of Fame. About damn time. Congratulations for Steve, the wizard, one of the most influential Damascus makers of the last 500 years. And if you are making Damascus, there's something that you're doing that you were shared, it was shared with you by Steve, whether you know him or not, whether you know his name or not. And if you don't know his name, you're ignorant, and that you should feel stupid about being ignorant. It doesn't look good on any of you bladesmiths. So understand, learn, be a good student. All right, let's get into some of this stuff. I'll show you the designs that are being produced outside of my hands right now. We'll start off, of course, with the folding kukri. This was first introduced in 2017 by myself and Doug. I designed it. We had it made by Fox. We shifted this from the MK Ultra to the V2 Ultra and modified some things on the inside of it and improved it, made it a little more durable. So that is the V2 Ultra folded kukri. I'm going to have some of these at my booth. If you're fortunate, you will run as fast as you can when you get in the show. Trip over your buddies. Make sure they're not holding a knife. And run to my booth and get one while you can get one, because I only have a few, and they're really difficult to get right now. These are made for me by Fox in Italy. The next piece is the Voodoo Dagger, the OSS Dagger. These are made in America. A friend of ours does the machining on these. These things are wicked. They're pointy. The sharp part is right here, but it makes a super nice, pokey, stabby thing. If you want to go and get a big chunk of ice for your whiskey and make it a little chunk of ice, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, that's how you get it. I would recommend one of these. If you don't have one, get one. The ultimate, the most popular thing that I've done so far, and we've sold over 1,000 of these. It blew my mind. This is our year of release. Was this year on Kickstarter? Is the Hummingbird. You know, these will be available at my booth, and we'll have them until we don't have any more. And if you don't have one of those, this is something everybody can afford this. So I don't want to hear that word either. I have weird words to say to you. All right, we're going to start getting into some of the custom stuff. So this is I call it the, it has a gear on it. So this is a shop-made knife. This is made by me and Josh Morgan, Primitive Woodsman. So we make these. They're not forged, but they're hand ground. They're totally handmade, and they're wonderful. This has a leather sheath by Sarah, Soulbound Leather. I don't have but a few of these. There may be 4 of these. I don't have a lot of them, but that's a cool piece. Other thing that I started doing, oh my gosh, I wasn't able to sell any knives. So I saw this guy making all these little knives, and I'm like, man, that's a great idea. I should make something that I can make a good many of them so I can get them in people's hands. That's the Jurassic Bird and Trout. Also one of our shop-made knives, designated by having a gear on it. So they are handmade, but not forged and not completely made by my hand. But they are handmade by me and Josh. And you can get one. Again, run. I'm not joking, run. You run to other stuff, run to my booth. Now the thing you really want to run for are the handmade pieces, because these are rare. I do not take orders. The likelihood of you getting one of these, it's easier to get a Bugatti than it is to get one of my knives. Trust me, there's more Bugattis out there than there are my kukris. So if you want to get one of these kukris, this is a Damascus Night Kukri, signature style right here. I put Koa on this. It has aluminum bronze texture. It's very beautiful. I like to put different textures and colors. I don't like everything to be smooth and slick. This is something new, something I've been thinking about. I thought it would be simple at first, but the more I started grinding it, I realized how complicated it was. This is an integral, I was calling it the Bushido chopper, the Samurai, the Musashi, chopper, but it's something fun. It's just a big chopper. It has 4 fullers on it. And then this piece is an experiment, but it's something I've been thinking about a long time, and I really wanted to make one. I don't use a lot of wrought iron, but wrought iron. This is Ringigi. I think I've been holding on to that piece of wood for 3 years now. Copper, but that's a big knightly dagger right there. A dagger that never was. It's almost like a Cinque Dia. It's so wide, but guess I'll be there. Ryan Johnson, friend of mine, a genius. They have a company in Chattanooga called RMJ USA. They've been making tomahawks, I think, since before 2001. But I have contracted Ryan and his company to produce my Night Hawk. My name is Knight. It's a real name. It's not even a made-up name. It's a real, honest last name. The Night Hawk. I'll have a few of these. I think I only have 10 different colors. I have bronze, the black. There's a couple other colors, but this is something I came up with. And that little fin makes it where if you cut something with it, it goes really far into it. The technical data. All of this is art. All of this took me a lot of time to come up with. All of these ideas are mine. Generating ideas and producing them, making them real is almost impossible. At the show, when you're there, you'll see a lot of knife makers, a lot of great makers. Very few of that entire crowd there are designers. 1% of the people in the room are designers. And that is something to note when you're looking at knives. You'll see a lot of people doing the raised, clipped, and dropped handles and forged blades. I didn't see anybody doing that when I first started doing it. I didn't invent it because it's probably been done on something hundreds of years ago. But in the modern era, I'll take credit for it. And if you want to argue that, let's argue. I want to be controversial? Let's be controversial, okay? But also, let's have a lot of fun. I hope to see you guys at Blade Show. Come by my table. We'll have a lot of time, a lot of fun. And I have t-shirts. I have a new t-shirt. I don't have one to show you, but it's a limited amount of them. Come and get one. And I hope you have a great day and be a maker.